So, Siddhant, can you tell us more about your work at Bounce? Like, what kind of space do you work in, and what responsibilities do you have as a PM in that space?
When I joined Bounce, I was one of the few consumer only PMs at Bounce. And my area was everything consumer at the time, like every, uh, that whether that was customer care, could be marketing one day, could be an app issue one day. So I worked across the breadth, and that gave me a chance to absorb a lot of how everything worked and like solve small problems everywhere. And to try and help build what Bounce is today. Like a lot of the features that you see today, like a lot of the base work for that, I've like helped build. And so that's what I did. And now I've gone into a deeper side of the problem. I handle the activation funnel for Bounce right now. So I think KYC is like a big part of it. KYC is like the a drop off in the funnel. It's a friction point. So solving those problems is what I like spend my time with right now. And I think I've had the luck, like I've been lucky where I've had breadth and now I get to have depth, which you only get to see in a company which goes from like 0 to 1 and then 1 to like trying to make optimizations, right? So a hypergrowth company like Bounce gives you that experience.
Nice. What would you have preferred more, breadth or depth?
I think having both is super lucky. I think I look at myself as a generalist. So I prefer breadth. I like easier. I find it easier to work in breadth because I like working like across many problems, and it keeps me excited in each different domain. But I
Yeah.
think right now what I'm getting is to do in terms of depth is super crucial for like to know like to become better at my job. Like knowing the depth of a problem is like what you're supposed to do. Like if you're just going around fixing a bunch of issues, sure, like a program manager could have probably helped also do that, right? So I think like first principle thinking and like system thinking would not come into the breadth role as much as it does in the depth role. If you're trying to get to like the why of a problem, only depth will help you there.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
So Siddhant, like in all these spaces, like in consumer products where you were working on so many aspects, what was your role as a product manager?
I think the role of like me as product manager at the time was a lot to do with execution. I think there's like three aspects of that are your like responsibilities. One is like the product strategy, which is like what are you trying to solve and how will you like what are the success metrics for that. There's prioritization, which is this a priority even to solve right now, and the third is execution. So I would say like a large chunk of mine was within already understood like a bunch of understood problems after like this prioritization and this execution. So I think I started off with like coming in and like trying to execute as much as possible, and over time I've gone into getting involved with like a lot of the prioritization discussions and then now product strategy because I'm owning like one specific area. See, one thing I'd like want to highlight is like in terms of um a product manager is like it's like leadership that you're looked at as like a leader, but you have to earn that. And I think to quickly gain the trust of a team, you have to prove yourself, and you can do that with quick wins. So like that's why like the execution part on these small issues that like you need to solve like really helps. And I think in your first 30 days you should try to like absorb as much as possible, and like just always be curious. Also try to understand the history of the product, of why it's where it is in the state it is, and then the quick wins will like help you gain the trust of the team. And because you don't actually manage anyone as a PM, like I think that's like important to know that you don't have like the engineers don't report to you, the designer does not report to you, the business team doesn't report to you. All of them are like reporting to like different verticals, and you are like trying to get everyone on the same page, and you're not going to be able to get everyone on the same page without building that trust, because
Right.
you have to influence all these people. And like for that you need to like know the in-depth like problem of what the customer is facing, and like hear each side of the story of all these teams.
Right. Absolutely. Can you tell us what a normal day at Bounce for you is like as a PM?
Yeah, sure. I mean, a normal day would like look like is I would probably have a list of things from like that I have for the next like app launch that and the next release that I'm planning for, and I need to like make sure all the that stuff is like on track. So I would start with getting all the things that are like P0s out of the way by like maybe I need to go talk to an engineer, and this will change day by day. Some days um, I will spend the first like hour like talking to leadership and maybe talking to the business teams to like influence them on like an idea I have, and like maybe try to convince them that this is what we should do. On another day, I will do none of that, and I will probably just be like working closely with an engineer to like figure out where are we on this release, what is like blocking him or her, and how can I help. Maybe the PRD is not clear, so I'll go rewrite the PRD and like rewrite a certain section of the PRD. Maybe the instrumentation is missing, so I'll like write uh, I'll rewrite the instrumentation to like, so that it makes sense. Maybe what's missing is like there's not enough data to make this to make this claim, and the growth team wants to know why are we doing this and what will it fix. Now, if I have enough data to prove that what I'm saying is right, then that's not a problem. But maybe I'm missing a piece, and maybe someone wants to question. So I'll spend the day with my product analyst to figure out the actual problem. So it can vary a lot, and I think it's very easy to like let your day go away in meetings. That will be most of the day will involve meetings for sure. But it's like you have to like really protect your own time so that you can do what you're supposed to be doing, and you have to be like a lot of people will try to pull you in everything, because since you work with every team, they'll just think, oh, this is Sid should be involved in this meeting because he handled this from the growth side, or Sid should be involved in this meeting because we need his design input here. But like sometimes I need to like excuse myself away from the meeting so I can get what I'm trying to get done that day. So yeah, I think the prioritization of your own time is like super important, and like um, you need to figure out in the beginning of the day what are you trying to achieve that day.
Makes sense.